So welcome back to Circling Seattle Sports. I don't know what I'll call this, but it's nice to have Jade Stighling here from the Seawolves join me ahead of this weekend's playoff match in Utah. Jade, thank you for joining me. Obviously, you guys have to go off and travel here in a little bit, but I wanted to talk to you about the past big win at home to get into the playoffs,
Yeah.
your guys' journey, and obviously previewing that match ahead. So I guess how are you doing? I know it's nice, I'm sure, to clinch a playoff berth, and but I know after a long season you might be feeling a little bit, but obviously I'm sure you're pushing through.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Charles. Yeah, I feel like we've been playing playoff matches for the past couple of games. So going into the last game against Miami, we knew our backs were against the wall. We had to get the bonus point win to actually make it through to playoffs. And I feel like that really got the boys excited. I feel like we were really up to the game. And yeah, we pulled through with a good win.
Yeah, and it's so obviously you mentioned you guys knew what you needed to do,
Yeah.
against Miami. Just obviously getting started off right with a couple tries. I mean, I'm sure that was good. You get maybe a little more excited because like, hey, I can see we're putting it all together, right? But Miami was no slouch.
No.
Uh, I don't know. You seem like a pretty humble guy. You had the two tries and that big, interception at the end. I mean, how do you feel your game played out? Obviously, it was tough dealing with a few cards throughout the course of the match. But I mean, you had a pretty good performance, MLR first 15 type performance for you. Just how did you like about how your game went?
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I feel like every game for the past couple of games has been like a playoff game for us. So like it's either show up or we're done with the season. I feel like that was a big thing for us is that we're basically playing playoffs every game going in. And I just wanted to play my role and it's easy with the guys. We have a good team culture at the moment. Obviously underdogs this season. I feel like we were hungry for the win and yeah, just happy to contribute to the team.
Can you speak about that a little bit? Because I'm not. I gotta tell you, I gotta admit, I'm not the super most versed guy in rugby, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
obviously very exciting. We've been covering the team for about 4 years now, but obviously, and I'm sure you knew it when you signed back in November of 23, but the Seawolves have this culture of winning, right? I think in every
yeah,
season that counts, not counting 2020, they've made the playoffs and gone pretty deep, knock on
yeah.
wood. Like, can you speak a little bit about what might have changed? Because obviously things were tough. Maybe you weren't getting the ball to bounce your way. And then, like you mentioned, it felt like playoff matches every single week. You take on some top teams and now you're here. Is there anything in particular you think that helped get it started, or was it just this group truly, coming together and I guess locking in?
I feel like that's what it was. I feel like we really locked in. We had a bit of a rough start, and I feel like we actually took out the top teams in our conference, like the games that we did end up winning, and in other conferences as well. I feel like we just made a mind switch. We had a statement from Beast Mode actually that said, "Winning, I mean, talking never won him anything. It's all about that action." And I feel like that's what we try to do. Just try to do our jobs individually on the field, and we pulled through as a team collectively.
Yeah, that that was pretty fun to see. I mean, obviously rugby is pretty physical, and that's a guy that was pretty physical in the sport he played. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that was pretty cool. I'll take it before I ask you about the upcoming match against Utah. I mean, like, what has it been like in Seattle for you? Because this is your second season
Yeah.
here with Seattle. I know in Clarkie's statement in his release when the club had signed you, he said that he'll be a big hit with the fans, and I feel like you have been that. But what has Seattle been like for you? Because I know for a lot of the guys I've talked to, Chance, JP, Dan, it's Seattle's a little different from where they've come from, right? So I guess what has Seattle been like for you? Whether that's just experiencing it with family or obviously having Marshawn around,
Yeah.
however you want to take it, right? What is playing in Seattle, being an athlete in Seattle, been like for you?
Oh man, it's actually been an unreal experience. I feel like having my wife over with me as well makes it so much nicer to explore Seattle as well. I feel like we enjoy the outdoors, the fans, and like just the environment that we're in has really been unreal. I feel like like one of the big parts in us enjoying it is actually the fans at home. I feel like that's probably what pulled us through the Miami match as well. Like unreal support. We definitely enjoy the Seawolf chants on the side. I feel like we've really been enjoying it and looking forward to the next season as well.
And I lied because I thought about this as well. Like, can you talk to me a little bit? Because for fans who don't understand this, like it's always fascinating to me to see the starters and the reserves, and the Seals like such talented reserves that you guys can bring on. I mean, you look at the last starting 15 to have Nick, who's been a huge pickup, during the season,
Yeah,
Malachi, who's an Olympian, right? Like, and then sometimes you are on the like obviously you'll be without Devon, unfortunately, for this upcoming match, but it feels like the depth that the Seawolves have able to have is pretty remarkable. Some weeks I'm like, how is this guy not starting? Like for
yeah,
me, Ina's always been a really fun guy to talk to. And I'm like, oh, sometimes I'm like, oh, Ina's on the bench today. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how, obviously you're not a coach, right? But can you speak, I guess, a little bit about the depth of this Seawolves team? Because again, it feels like anytime, like, God forbid, an injury happened, right? But some depth does happen. Like I think it was Dan came off.
Yeah.
Was it this past match? And I was like, ah,
Yeah.
shoot, like that's not great. But you bring on someone else, and it's almost like maybe you didn't skip a beat. Can you speak, I guess, to the depth? Because again, I'm stunned at the Seawolves can have available in the reserves.
I feel like we have a pool of really talented players at the moment. I feel like any position, whether there's an injury or we just need a substitute in that position, I feel like we really have some good talented players. So looking at Dan coming off and Eddie coming on, it was a big pickup for us to get Eddie back on our team as well. I feel like yeah, I feel like we just really have a very good group of guys this year, and anyone can play at any time, and we know that they'll get the job done.
Yeah, thank you, man. Again, it's like it's so fascinating each week to see the starters coming out and like, all right, who are you going to be able to bring on if you need it? It's
Yeah.
a testament, obviously, to what the staff does. So yeah, I mean, Utah's tough. They've obviously, they've been tough for a while. Is there anything in particular you guys are looking forward to? Is there just, playoff rugby? Anything can happen, and it's just up to executing now.
Yeah, it's really that. I feel like playoff rugby, anything can happen. On the day, it's the hungriest team that wins. I feel like we've prepared well. We've obviously taken this momentum from Miami going into this game now. I feel like we can take a few learnings from the last game we played against Utah. But yeah, hopefully the elements aren't the same like it was the last time we played in Utah with the wind. But yeah, we're looking forward to a good game this weekend.
Perfect. Jade, thank you. Is there anything that, you want to promote? I know some guys have different things that they do. It's been cool to see the happy bundles that one of your teammates has got going on. I know Chance is a big art guy. I don't know if you're a big painting guy too, but is there anything that, you want folks to know about Jade, or is it just to tune in on Saturday at 7 o'clock?
Tune in on Saturday and become a Seawolves fan.
Yeah, that hey,
Root
that's
for
pretty good.
United.
That is pretty good.